guys, it's Twintuitive717. Thank you for being so patient with me, guys. I haven't posted a video in a while. I'm back from my vacation and I'm feeling great, so I just wanted to hop on quickly here to share a few cards that I did shuffle and receive. And I got an overall message from the cards about how the masculine is feeling about the twin flame connection at this time. And so I just thought I would share it with everyone. Okay, so, from the cards right away, I just want to go ahead and start with this one here. So, for this one, I feel like the divine feminine, she has a family. I feel like she has a family and she has a child and a husband, and I feel like both twins understand that no matter what their life circumstances are, whether they're both married, whether they both have families, many of us are in connections where we have already been in soulmate relationships and then we meet our twin flames. And so, we really do go on a journey with not just our twin, but our soul partners as well. And I think what the masculine is starting to understand is that, for me, it looks like Cupid has just sort of struck his arrow into both of their hearts. And now they're having to learn ways to incorporate their own life situations with the love that they feel for each other. And this involves a lot of the masculine coming to terms with the fact that it doesn't matter what situation the feminine is in, whether she has a family, whether she is available or not available. He really wants this, finally. He really wants to feel this love, because that's what he always comes back to. There's a lot that's shifting for the masculine in terms of how they feel about sex. I've mentioned this in the last few community posts. And I feel like this comes from watching the feminine be free and feel loving towards her own energy and herself. And so it's really drawing him in, and he's wanting to experience her tenderness and her love, because he knows that that's the only thing that can really fill his cup. His divine feminine is his number one in his life. And I feel like seeing her be a wife and a mother and have her own business, work a job, be a wonderful stay-at-home mom who juggles, at times the world. I think it's very admirable for him, and he's learning that, there's not a lot that can match this energy. He's really falling out of alignment with anything else that doesn't represent that motherly or nurturing energy. So I feel like the masculines, a lot of them have done a lot of childhood healing experiences that they've had that they didn't always feel so loved. I feel like they're stopping themselves from covering it up, and they're moving towards, their chalices, what feels like gold, what feels warm, what feels full, fulfilling. And I feel like that's justice for the feminine. Things are balancing now. Before, she felt very unbalanced because there was a lot of giving, there was a lot of demonstrating, showing, giving hints and clues, giving insights as to who she was as a woman and as a person. And little did she know she just had to be herself in order to show that. But she so desperately, wanted to tame that beast within him, that at times, she really found herself tussling around with him, especially during times where he was extremely negative and rude and harsh. It was very hurtful for her to let herself get to this point. But I feel like because she's the type of woman that doesn't back down, in times where he would really trigger her, she wouldn't allow him to just step all over her like a doormat. She was willing to put up a fight whenever, wherever. And he really admires her for that. Because I feel like the Divine Feminine makes no apologies for who she is. Even if she is rough around the edges, she could still be the most magnificent, beautiful flower and transform in an instant. I get a lot too that a lot of you feminines can be, big tomboys or, big bookworms, and you're really into a lot of your childhood cartoons still, or you like reading certain comic books, and it's because you're really fearless about your own energy and who you are, and it brings you abundance. Your own very nature brings you abundance, and you're used to having men, desire you in this way. And so I feel like for the masculines, it really intrigue them as to the kind of woman that you are. You're just so simple, but to them you appear as such a beautiful queen. It's that natural beauty within you that is full of a lot of light and tenderness. And so it's making him, feel this energy. He really wants to compete with others that are desiring you. And I feel like no matter how much the feminine tries to explain and show him, he does have reminders around him, and he will get through this space of feeling unworthy because he can't punish the feminine for knowing her worth. He has to know his worth too. And I feel like sometimes when they interact with each other through conversation, the feminine can come off as very arrogant and sure of herself, and it intimidates him, which makes him come off as, again, a bit of a beast here. And he challenges her. But, with this last card here, I just feel like, the passion between them can't really be denied. And I feel like it's because the feminine just does her thing. She makes herself happy. And it really makes him want to manifest being there for her in that way, right? It's because he knows that no matter what, she can create happiness. Whatever she touches turns to gold. And I feel like the feminines need to sink into that feminine energy that's completely whole and balanced, so that they don't allow the masculines to hold any type of control over them. They can make decisions for themselves and not feel held back or guilty, because the masculines have spent eons in this type of energy, and it's been unbalanced because it's allowed them to sort of use and abuse. And not to say that women haven't done this, but there's just been more of a heavy pattern of the balance or misbalance in terms of abuse. Because the planet is very masculine dominated, the feminine is now finding that energy again, just to be free. And whoever has anything to say about it, if you'll notice, to me, is in the fire. They can burn, is what I feel like the feminine is saying, because negative energy, and that includes judgment, doesn't affect her anymore. Being criticized for her femininity, her sexuality, her needs, her desires, her autonomy to make decisions around that. It's her choice to make now. And so it's most desirable to the masculine is the overall energy that I'm feeling. And I would really love to commend a lot of you feminines for being authentic and making choices that support your own happiness and your own health, and finally feeling free to make those decisions without asking or needing validation from anybody else. I wish you all the very best, and I will speak to you soon.